Hello, hello. It is day 205 of my 365-day raw suspending disbelief journey. Today is November 13th, 2024, and holy crap, I'm still exhausted from yesterday. I slept forever. I had a mastermind call that I was supposed to be on at 6 a.m. this morning. Even going to bed before 9, I was still just dead. I did not wake up. I ended up getting up at 8 and still feeling like a zombie, and I've sort of felt like a zombie all day. So the Moonike transmission or rights that I received yesterday really, really knocked me on my ass. And then also, um, one of the things that is very often skated over because people don't want to talk about it, right? Is how for women, our periods are so energetically and intuitively like they're tied in, right? So when you have a big energetic session like what I had yesterday, if your period is anywhere nearby, it is so actually really often it's so common that it will like pull it forward. It will bring it in sooner. So I got hit with that today too. A little bit earlier than expected and whatever, and that's fine. But it was also the first day of my kids being back and them running around here all day long, being crazy. This is a very intensive week for me for business as well as my kids being home all week. So it's like just because I have a big masterclass that I'm doing next Monday that is taking a lot of my focus that I'm like actively trying to sell spots for and all of these things. So I wanted to be, hyper focused on that. My kids were here. My energy was like wonky because I'm not supposed to be on my period, but I suddenly got it. I was exhausted from this big thing yesterday. So it was really, really wonky energy. It was like up and down. One second I was feeling okay. And then the next I was really grumpy, things like that. I was just kind of all over the place and trying to give myself grace for that, trying to give myself a little bit of breathing room, trying to remind myself that it's okay to slow down even on an active, like launching, selling kind of a week, that it's better to step away for a while, that it gives me the time after and that when I, pour into myself and my kids for a little bit, and then they're more able to sustain themselves so that I can focus on business or, things like that. It's also getting a lot colder here, so it's not as fun for the kids to go outside, for me to send them away for an hour or two to go to the park or something, with my oldest, because they're freezing after like half an hour. So, it does make it a little bit more difficult to uh, have them outside as much, and they will adjust to where in the winter here, this weather will not feel cold. It'll feel nice and warm and whatever. But right now it still feels cold compared to the weather that we were enjoying right before this. Right. So, um, it's been a bit of a shift. It's been a bit of uh, the timing of everything couldn't be more, I don't know. Just, normally I take into account what's going on as far as the kids' school goes when I'm scheduling stuff like this. And I think that maybe when I picked the date for the masterclass, I was looking at like, well, they're in school that day, but I forgot to look at the week before and like leading up to it and the sales week and all of that kind of stuff, like everything that I was going to be doing the week before. That I wasn't going to have a lot of focus for my business. So I think I forgot about that, but also, normally I can still balance fairly well while the kids are home, and it's not really the end of the world. And my oldest is really great for like, being able to keep them occupied for an hour without fighting most of the time, or, like without anybody having a full on meltdown or anything like that, just so that I can get some really focused work done for an hour. And an hour can make a huge difference as long as it's focused time, right? So usually it's not a big deal, but I think just the combination of them being cold or home, it being cold outside, and me being so exhausted and depleted physically, um, it just all combined to be a very interesting day. We'll just leave it at that. Interesting. Um, it. it also was kind of frustrating since like I kept the house from Saturday when the kids were home, and we like did all of our cleaning or chores, and then I did like feng shuied my bedroom, and I was decluttering the house, and I was cleaning everything, like deep cleaning everything. So everything all weekend stayed really nice and clean, and because it was just me. And even when my oldest came back, it was just her, and she's not as messy usually, or at least, if I'm on top of her, she's not. Um but it was like all of a sudden my nice clean house and environment that I had been enjoying was destroyed at the same time as, and not destroyed, but like, I mean, my youngest two come home and it's a disaster, right? They're eating every 5 minutes. So there's dishes upon dishes upon dishes. They're spilling on clothes. They're doing, like whatever. So there's more laundry. They're pulling out the toys, they're pulling out the crafts, they're doing all these things, and it's great. And I love it. But at the same time, it was just such a drastic shift from yesterday, from the energy of the weekend into now, like, boom, your period's here, boom, you're exhausted, boom, all of this stuff, and the house is a disaster, and you have zero focus time. And it was just kind of like, whoa, massive shift. So and I could have predicted most of it except for my physical energy shifting so suddenly because of my period getting called in sooner, just because of this massive energetic experience and session. So as strange as it may be that I'm talking about my period on this, whatever, it had a huge contribution to today. So really just suspending disbelief today that like all of this is intentional. All of this is how it's supposed to be. My plan for my masterclass is still going to go off smoothly. There's not going to be a problem. I'm going to be able to get the things done that I need to get done in the time that I have. I'm going to really try for the rest of the week to um, be really intentional about just like going to bed earlier so that I can get up before the kids for the rest of this week and get some work done in the morning so that I don't feel that pressure of like, I'm not getting the things done I need to get done while they're awake. And it gives me a little bit more comfort around just spending time and focusing on them so that I'm not feeling that at the same time in the background. It allows me to be more present. And then by default, when I'm more present, my kids are more pleasant. So present and pleasant. That's a very interesting. I feel like I could use that on something. um, anyways, I know that like the first day of my period is always the worst, and then it gets better. So it is guaranteed to be better tomorrow, guaranteed to be more balanced tomorrow. Also the kids, every time when they come home from their dads, they're more exhausted and all of those things. So once they've had a good night's sleep, the energy is also better. I just realized I forgot to actually physically clear their energy today, which there you go, right? When I've got all this other stuff going on and I'm not focused and I'm not super present, sometimes you forget things like that. So I guess that'll be first thing on the menu tomorrow morning, because they do pick up a lot of energy from their dad and from the people that they visit when they're with their dad and all of that. So I will get on that because that has a huge effect on the energy of our days together. And yeah, so just suspending disbelief that it's all exactly how it's supposed to be. And today was not meant to be a day of focus and of accomplishing and of productivity. So just leaning into that trust again, leaning into that, like everything is going to be fine. And totally suspending disbelief about it all, because to be honest, today does not feel like it. So even though I can be like logically and consciously aware that this feeling is not permanent, that it is not how things really are, that it is an in the moment icky, like, oh, today was so frustrating, versus actually what my experience is in life. It really is not this. It's never this. So this is, yeah, just, yeah, it's, I mean, I'm really glad that I am able to be aware, even in the moment of feeling this crappiness of like, this is very fleeting. This is not going to last even 24 hours probably. So, looking forward to tomorrow. And that's what I have for you guys today. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.